Hello everyone, hope you're all doing well. Don't forget, if you like the video, click on like and subscribe and talk about it on chat lines or wherever it is your social media activities and help us to grow and help more people. I'll talk to you soon. So let's go to Aftar. Aftar says, hi Mehran, male UK 40. Thank you for that. He says, I hope you're well. I'm a single man looking for a relationship. Aren't we all? I just wondered, he says, what are your views on a man legally paying for pleasure? Is there any illegal way of paying for pleasure? We're all paying for pleasure one way or another, aren't we? Pleasure from a woman is something I miss and always been against paying for a short-term fix as I feel it is wrong. But what are your views on this? Thank you. It's a very good question. I welcome the question and the discussion. There are many different angles that we can look at this. And I hope you all will have, whether you're a man or a woman here, won't be offended and would be open to ponder on the topic, as these are just how what we do here. We back and forth, bounce things around from each other and come up with some kind of understanding. Each one of us may be differently, but that's the whole purpose of this thing here. So, in regards to what are views about paying for sex, companionship, well, this has been a long kind of a tradition in history. Women were always been sought after. Sex has always been sought after because this is what we are. We human beings are programmed for sex according to what we are interested in and what our inclination is. But we are all seeking that pleasure, the ultimate pleasure of sex, and putting us in a place where you think of nothing else but the pleasure you're feeling. You feel you don't need anything and you have everything. That's the moment that is the ultimate satisfaction and ultimate state of being where psychological security is attained. You're not questioning or worrying about attaining any psychological security, physical security, attaining any echelon in life, any material ownership, nothing at that moment, nothing at all is important to have while you seek nothing, but you have everything. You feel you have everything. So that naturally has a certain kind of a price. The price that we've been seeking, that which includes the ultimate unattainable state of psychological security, but we at the time of sexual pleasure climax, we feel we have attained the unattainable. So psychologically, inwardly, we have a propensity toward seeking it, desiring it, aiming for it, wishing it to be end all be all. Naturally, we won't have a problem if we have to. That's the only way to pay for it. So these are pluses, some of the pluses. The negatives is that you're objectifying women. You move out of the sort of human feelings and humanity and the respect and the love and the emotions that you want that whole experience to include. But by paying for it, you're excluding your entitlement to that pleasure because you accept that I'm giving this money to receive the pleasure and I'm buying it and I don't expect anything else, meaning you allow yourself to be put outside of the equation in the eyes of the woman, that she's under no moral or any shape or form obligation of giving you any personal, emotional, genuine care and attention and emotional involvement. which that plays in your psyche. Because while you pay for it and you get the pleasure, but you don't get the real attention and genuine interest of the woman, which makes you feel like shit afterwards. Not like shit, but makes you feel like I got the pleasure, but I don't feel loved. I don't feel important because she did that for money. But there's something more important, more valuable than the money that I give her, which is her voluntarily caring and having emotions towards me, toward my life, as a witness to my existence. This is one of the reasons that you want to have a girlfriend, a relationship. We are all very important to ourselves. Every human being is the most important person in his or her life. And for what we are here to do in this world, we're constantly seeking witness to our existence, to what we accomplish, what we go through, what we care about. And that witness is our girlfriend, is our woman. You won't have that when you pay for it because the obligation to complete that transaction for her in that relationship is to give you physical sex. But when you are with a woman who voluntarily wants to be with you because she cares about, she has feelings about you, that becomes your witness. That pleases you, satisfies you, gives you that validation, gives you that importance, gives you that feeling of there is a loyalty here. And my loyalty to her and her loyalty to me is the reason for my happiness. If there is no loyalty, there is no happiness. And that's the whole basis of that relationship. Imagine when you have a child. It's a different tangent, but I want to deliver something. Imagine if you have a child. Bringing comfort, security, provisions to him or her, to that child, makes you happy 5 million times a day, so to speak. Because if your child is sleeping well, you're happy that he or she is sleeping well. Your child had his or her dinner or lunch or breakfast completely, you're happy because your child wanted water, you brought water. So you contributed to the balance and the security and what your child needed. You become happy. You buy a toy, become happy. Your happiness is in the service and love and loyalty that you give away, you extend. But if you were going to be happy for the things that is only for you, there were very limited number of things that could make you happy. Maybe you buy a new house or buy a new car, or buy a suit maybe or clothing, however, whatever you're looking for. You buy new shoes. It doesn't happen every day. And if it happens, any of them, maybe one thing a day. But when you're doing something out of love for somebody else, it happens so many times in that day, so to speak, as we explained, the child example. You attend, you play with your son or daughter, you do homework with them. They do their homework, complete that. You're happy because you help them to excel. You teach them something, they learn it. Hmm? You bring them food. You help them in any way you can to bring comfort to them. All these can make you happy 10, 20 times a day. These are all because of giving love. And by giving love, you're receiving love, even if that other person is not really extending a certain service or, like doing something for you or responding in love. But because you have a portal to pour your love into, that itself brings that satisfaction and you feel love is also around you because you created it. So it comes back to you. So this exchange doesn't exist when you pay for sex to your girlfriend. because you always feel, what did I get? You're not concerned about you got sex. You want more than that. Because remember, when you're having sex, you don't want the sex for the sex mechanical part of it. Through sex, you're getting certain higher level of resonance of emotion. That's what you want. You won't get that by paying for it, and you know it. And you feel it. When you're having sex with someone that you paid for, there's no emotional reciprocation. And that's the problem for paying for it. You cannot create that emotional, voluntarily emotional gift that is extended between the couple when you pay for it. So it will be a brief moment of pleasure, but at the same time, you will feel there's a vacuum of something because you had that pleasure. You feel it? So, however, many of you may feel, oh, it would be great. She's gorgeous. She comes in and I'll have sex with her. Yeah, but she's gorgeous. She comes in all dude up, the high heels and all that. But she's a mannequin. There is no energy. See, we're all made out of body and mind. The body does what it does. You can sense it if you touch, sense of touch, and it can give you arousal and vision and all that, creates desire and so on. But because the body is involved, doesn't automatically means that the emotion is also surging. And in order to have a real successful experience in sex and real taste of complete experience of sex, you need the emotion and the physical to merge and be extended at the same time. It won't happen that way. So it's always like yeah, I had a nice, beautiful food in a beautiful dish, but there were no spices in it. There was no salt in it. You can't create that no matter how wonderful the dish and the ingredients are. There are no salt. There's no taste in it. You feel me? You understand what I'm saying? So while it looks really fancy and sexy, that I'm paying for it, and she's an escort, she's great, or she's an employee, you always know it's not volunteer. What we seek for is the voluntarily expression of love and emotion and dedication by a woman towards you, not that she's doing it as a transaction. It won't satisfy. Uh, Go ahead, try it. And the other problems with it is that we men bond when we have sex with a woman. And because you're paying for it, she's under no understanding or obligation that she's having a relationship with you. And she won't allow herself even to try to create an emotional bond between you two, because that's not her intention. Her intention is business. But you can't help it. You will fall for her because we love women. Femininity of women drives us very interested. If she happens to be in your place as part of the transaction to have sex, and you guys get acquainted and she feels comfortable and she maybe decides to make tea for herself or for you, that gesture of bringing tea by a woman to you is already very cozy and sexual and makes you feel as if she's your girlfriend, or she feels comfortable. She's accepted you as something more than a transaction. And that creates a foothold in your heart that you now fall for her because she's now a woman in your home. It's a woman in your home and doing domestic things, which is very sexy to us. However, I'm not getting into it. Whoever wants to slap it, label to it, chauvinism and all that bullshit, you can go fuck yourself. This is how we are. We like domesticated woman who does homey things. I guarantee you, you bring two girls look exactly the same, both hot. One of them cooks for you in the kitchen. The other one sits there, put her leg, crosses her legs, and doesn't give a shit. You will only fall for the one in the kitchen. You don't give a fuck about the other one because it's all about care and emotion. And these little things of tea or the food that most women think, oh, it's so outdated. They don't understand their powers and their importance and what it means, but they translate it into, oh, I'm a feminist. I shouldn't be doing these. Who the fuck is going to do it then? Then when there is a need for throw the garbage out or change the pipe or change the tire of the car, then why should the man do it? So, well, why should I do it? She can do it. There are certain roles that we, by nature, are better to do or suits us the way tradition has been. You don't like it? Don't like it. But that's what it is in most cases and in most women. And the women who are really women and still love to be women and are feminine, they know their powers. They know how we cherish them. And they love to be that woman who cares for her man and cooks or does things that we don't know how to do. So it's a two-way street. But if they want to go on making a political statement, that relationship will never work. So a feminist can go and fuck themselves. That's as far as I'm concerned. Feminist with the connotation that they are presenting it, not as far as equality and opportunity and all that, because I'm all for it. Equality in pay, equality in opportunity, equality, all that, I'm all for it. But expecting to be a man and do what the man does, and you don't need a man, and hating man, and that's what the most feminists today are advocating, then fuck that analogy and ideology. It'll never work. That's why the whole world is in the shit that they are. Okay, listen, getting back to the topic. So you will fall for that woman, whether you want it or not, whatever you think, whatever your arrangement is. Once a woman is in your home and comes and goes and you have sex with her, as a man and the way you're programmed, you will, in your mind, feel responsible to love her, to protect her. And the rest of it will lead into falling for her, loving her, falling in love with her, wanting to be with her, and can't see her being approached by other men. And you want to bring betterment to her life. This is how we're built. We feel responsible. We want to protect women. And so, but she's not in the same way of thinking. So you're going to get hurt. And then you're going to end, and if she's a sophisticated, scrupulous woman and devious in a way, she will take advantage of that vulnerability of you. And maybe she will ask for more money, or in an indirect way. You will be ending up wanting to pay her more in order to get more of her attention because you're now in love. You forgot that it was all a business transaction. And then that becomes a problem because she's not going to want to be with you. That's her economic source. She'll never destroy that, become your girlfriend, and then get no money. She was there for money. That's her business. So I will feel, in reality, you will lose a lot more than you will gain. At the outset, you feel, okay, she was here. But then you'll always question, but she was here, but she wasn't really mine. Is she mine? Because when you are making love to a woman, you feel at that moment she belongs to you. But then when that moment finishes, And you want to feel that she does. And if she doesn't in her heart, it's not a great sex, because she also feels that you belong to her. And if she thinks that you'll be having a separate life after this half an hour or 1 hour, it wouldn't set well with her. Same thing with you. Once that finishes, then you see, oh, it's not what I thought. Like, she's not here, she's not mine. And then you crave for it. Then the anxiety and uncomfortableness. So you're just creating shitload of problems for yourself. So, having looked at some of the points, because these are not all the points, there's a lot more discussion into this, but in the short time that we have, I don't suggest it. Get your ass in gear and go find a real girlfriend. I know you have been disappointed before, because maybe you've had girlfriends and they left, or for one reason or other they change your mind. But that's women. Women do that, and you got to allow them to do it. You got to accept that, and don't take it to heart. You may have a moment or a few days or a few months of romance, and then for one reason or another, they may or you may change your mind, and that's okay. Cherish that time that it was good, and then let it go. The reason you want to go and hire a woman for this purpose is because you want permanence. You want continuity, and you want to create that by transaction. Don't accept that the women are mostly, not all, mostly are not reliable in their hearts, in their mind, in their relationship, in their analyzation of what life is, and their capacity in dealing with challenges is different than yours. Between the two, it could be different, and therefore, one of you, or both of you, or in most cases, women, have a different tolerance and understanding and ability to negotiate the challenges in life, and therefore, they may change their mind, which is either their fears, concerns, or other more convenient alternatives, opportunities would show up that it would be more to their convenience, and they could change your mind. You have to accept that that's okay. That's the beast you're dealing with. So don't expect for the one that is going to be all that you want it to be, and you can rely and reliable and faithful and all. They'll all be a one way for a few days or a few months, and then they can change too. And you should be okay with that, because that's the kind of a creature we all are. And in this case, women, mostly women. And that's okay. If you're okay with understanding that is the characteristics of a woman, and the benefits and the challenges of being in love or in emotion or exchange of emotion or a friendship with a woman, then you're okay, because you expect that. You know that could happen. Then you won't be surprised and whatnot. So if you accept that, then go and find a girlfriend, and don't worry about how long it lasts. Just make it a quality as long as it lasts. And if it doesn't, stops lasting or going forward, then you had a good, you treated her well at the time, during the time that you were together. So you feel good about that. Always treat women well, regardless of their decision, or until it gets to a decision that is not palatable to you. It can happen. But until then, if ever, you always treat women well, because you will feel great about yourself even when it breaks up. So go find a girlfriend, and don't worry about the permanence of it. That's your motivation for wanting to hire someone. You think you'll be permanent. That has its own problems. Go find a girlfriend and see how it goes. A month, okay, didn't work out, next. If it worked out, great. And if it broke up, accept that. That's okay. Next. There's no shortage of woman. And but always be a gentleman, always be a good man, always care and be kind to them and respectful, and so on and so forth. And if there's a good communication and you're both hitting on the same levels, then you will be able to resolve things. And if not, well, it was great as long as it lasts. And you guys don't have the same kind of a mentality or approach to life, that's okay too. Wish her well and move on. All right. I hope that helps you out. After having said all that, subscribe on my channel, visit my channel, and go through the videos that you might be interested in. Mind that seekstruth.com is making it one step away to talk to me one-on-one on Skype and discuss what's concerning you. I'll talk to you soon.